So today we'll talk about 4 common poses and transitions, and we'll focus on the alignment of the poses and engaging, or where you could engage in the pose to help you to stay safe in them. The first one is a low lunge. So step 1 foot forward and bring your knee right over your ankle. In your low lunge, you want to try to space your knee enough so that when you sink your hips down, your knee doesn't come too far over your toes. So press down into your front foot, take your hands onto your hips. In your low lunge, you want your knee to be out toward the pinky toe side. Try to relax through your upper body. A lot of times in a low lunge, we kind of arch our back here and let our rib cage flare out. So when you're here, try to focus on sending the tailbone down, your rib cage in, and your torso is right over your hips. You can keep your hands on your hips, or you can start to reach your arms up and overhead. Squeeze your inner thighs together. That'll help you to stay stable in your lower half. And you want everything to be really active here. So spread through the fingers, reach through the arms and the sides of your body. And then once you're settled in, send the hips down towards the mat. Try to keep your knee right over your ankle to keep your knees safe, and squeezing the inner thighs together to help you stay stable. Long breaths in and out. Take your hands down. The next one is a crescent lunge. So with 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, starting off in a runner's lunge, take your knee right over your ankle. Bring your fingertips under your shoulders and lift your back knee. From here, squeeze your inner thighs together. Take your hands onto your knee at first and lift your torso so that it's right over your hips. Just like in a low lunge, your knee is pressing out towards the pinky toe side. At first here, put a little bend in your back knee as you work in your crescent lunge. Take your arms up and overhead, or you can keep your hands onto your hips. Squeeze the inner thighs and lift the back knee so that your heel is right over the ball of your foot. Take a breath in and out. Again, try to keep your tailbone tucking under and your rib cage hugging in. That'll help to protect and stabilize your low body. If you want more, press the palms of your hands together and look up at your fingers. Our next one is high plank to low plank to up dog. So there's a few ways that you can do your high plank to low plank, or chaturanga. That's what they call it in yoga sometimes. Start off by bringing your shoulders over your wrists and your fingertips spread out wide. The first option is to stay down on your knees. So hugging the elbows towards the body, sending the hips low. Start to slowly come from your high plank to your low plank with the knees on the mat, lowering down, pressing into the hands and moving really slow. The next way you can do it is by lifting your knees here, coming into a plank position. Again, your fingers are spread out wide and your palms are pressing into the mat. Press back through your heels to engage your legs and pull your belly button towards your spine. Take a breath in, and then elbows hug in, lower all the way down to the mat. Try to keep pressing back through the heels as you lower. Slow, your belly hits the mat. And the last way that you can do it is practice coming just halfway down. This one is a challenge for your strength, but that's good. Same cues here. Fingers spread wide, palms pressing in. Grip the mat with your fingertips. Take your elbows in towards your body, press back through your heels. One long line, you lower down. And then when you get about halfway, stop. Inhale, you roll your shoulders back, untuck your toes for your upward facing dog. Our last one is a downward facing dog. So we're gonna start in a low plank position. That'll help you to find the positioning of your hands and feet when you are in your downward dog. Your hands are under your shoulders. Tuck your toes under, and then keep your hands and feet right where they are. Just press up and back into your downward dog. Now, you might tiptoe your feet a little closer together, and your heels might not touch the floor, but that's okay. You can keep your heels lifted here. In your downward dog, spread your fingers out. Your index fingers are facing forward. Your arms are externally rotated, so take the eyes of your elbows in. You can bend your knees as much. You can bend your knees here. Your heels don't have to touch the floor. But press into your hands. Keep your head right in between your arms and press your chest towards your thighs. Careful here not to press too much back and dump the weight into your shoulders. But let your shoulders come up by your ears so you're really reaching from your fingertips all the way back to your hips. Breath in and out. Lower onto the knees and push the hips back. I did the best I could do today. There was a lot of things going on, but these are 4 common poses that you would practice when you are in a yoga class, or they're very common in a lot of vinyasa style yoga practices. And they're great because you can practice one at a time, right? You can practice one at a time until you feel comfortable in it, until your body feels stable and strong in it. And then you can put those 4 poses together to do a nice little flow. And I'll show you what it looks like. So if you were going to take those same 4 poses that we just did, start off in a child's pose. Just take a few seconds to breathe there. Settle in and allow your body to get ready to move. And then come up to tabletop. Starting off with the low lunge, step 1 foot forward, and you always do both sides. You just start on one side. So your right foot is forward, check your alignment, knee is over the ankle, the knee is out towards the pinky toe side. You have the nice spacing from your foot to your back knee. Squeeze your inner thighs and start to engage there. Take your hands onto your hips, torso right over the thighs at first, and then when you're ready, send your arms up. Active through the fingertips all the way down to that back knee. Check in with your tailbone, tuck it under. Your ribs are in, and your core is. And when you think of taking your ribs in, just think of pulling your hip bones, your hip points up towards your belly. That'll help to activate your lower body too, your core. Breathe, breathe, and then hands come down. Step your right foot back. Now we'll do it from a crescent lunge. Step 1 foot forward, start in a runner's lunge first. So fingertips are under your shoulders, your knee is over your ankle, lift your back leg here, right? Bring the heel right over the ball of the foot. Squeeze your inner thighs. Take your hands to your hips first while you take your torso over your hips. Keep the hands on the hips or start to reach your arms up and overhead. Palms can press together if you want a little bit more. And then release your hands, plant them down, and step your left foot to a plank pose. From your plank, you can choose if you want to come with the knees down or if you want to keep the knees lifted. Your hands are shoulder width. Take your elbows in as you lower. As you're lowering, press back through your heels. Come down halfway if you want the challenge, and then roll your heart up. Turn the tops of your feet down and lift the chest. To come into your down dog, I like to just take the knees down sometimes, untuck the toes. That gives you the proper spacing for your downward dog. And then everybody is different. You may be shorter or taller. You may need to tiptoe the feet in. Remember that your heels do not have to touch the mat. Fingertips are spread, index fingers forward. Externally rotate your arms so that the eyes of the elbows press out. Let the head relax in between the hands and reach from the fingertips to the back heel, so find length through your spine. To come out, shift forward, lower the knees, and press your hips back. I think I covered everything. This is what we call the eyes of your elbows. So that externally rotate, if you notice, if you take your arms in, right, if you internally rotate, your arms and your shoulders kind of round in. When you externally rotate, your shoulders come down and the eyes of the elbows point up. That's in your downward facing dog. Let me know if you want to do more of these. Let me know if there are other poses that you want to break down while you're practicing. And yeah, I will see you soon. We'll do this again. It's a little bit fun. I was actually really excited to do this one because I got the opportunity to teach a little bit. And so, yeah, see you soon.